Hello everyone, just giving you a sneak peek behind my workflow for those that are interested or for those that have to watch this. So normally when I come back from an assignment or a trip, I always try to clean the images out of my card immediately. So because this is a travel assignment, I put under travel, and then usually within the travel I would say where I went, okay, and then the date. So I would say, so that is where that's gonna, then then I will insert all my images, find where they're located. And I know the last few images are just a lot of just fun images that's non-related, so I'm going to separate that as well. But anyways, this is already in DNG. If it's not in DNG, I would do the DNG converter here, but regardless, I'm going to select everything. Oops. Let's create another folder. And then A1 on my raw. So in this case, my raw, it's also, so in this case, my raw, are DNGs. So, and I don't have to convert it in DNG, but if you don't have that, I would separate my raw folders and then the DNG. Okay, so this is going to take a little bit of time, so I'm going to pause here for a bit while this loaded because it's around 30 gigabyte. And this is another reason why we always delete. So as a habit, photograph your images, look through it. If it's blurry, delete them. If it's not interesting enough to you, delete them, because most likely if it's not interested to you or not interesting to you, it won't be interesting to the client as well. Okay, so start deleting, because as cameras become better, your files becomes bigger. So if you can see here, just one of my files already, 45, almost 45 megabytes, right? So after editing, it's going to increase that too. So we will always want to delete. Okay, so I'm gonna wait a little bit, pause here while this goes on, and then come back when it's done. Hello. So finally it's done. So for those that their original raw is not DNG, we would convert it to DNG, but mine's already DNG, but it's not renamed. So I'm just gonna rename it here in the second step. Okay, so are you sure you want to add extension DNG? Don't add, but I want to rename it though. Dot DNG. And the reason why I like to put numbers in front is because I like to see it in a certain order. You don't have to do that, but it just makes sense to do that. Okay, so I'm going to open the DNG converter. Oops, go to my image bank. And then that's the source. Let's move it in so you can see it. So that's my source folder. I'm going to select that. I don't want to save it in a new location. I want to save it in this location. So again, just double check, select the image to convert, yes. And then I want to save it here. I'm gonna name this now. So that was my previous travel Pogo Island. So I will put 3-digit actually 1-digit. I like it 1-digit better. So I'm gonna do that, starting from 1, and then keep DNG, and that's it. My first name, last name. I would actually put the type of photography you're doing or your assignment that you're doing, and then the details, and then the number, and then convert. Okay, so this is going to take some time. So I'm going to stop here and come back when it's done. Okay, so finally it's done. That didn't take too long, but okay, something I want you to notice too, or some might ask, is already in DNG, why did I convert it again? If you notice here, the file size of the converted is half the file size of the DNG produced by my camera, and that's one of the reasons why I do convert. And eventually when everything's done, I delete the actual raw the raw files, so there's no use of keeping two, especially if after I get paid by my client. So another reason why we would convert is that with the Adobe converter, is the Adobe DNG converter enables you to easily convert camera specific raw files from supported cameras to more universal DNG raw files. So that's more archival purposes for the future, just in case. And that happened to me. I can't open some of the images that I took in Curacao that I did in early 2015, so I can't, there's nothing right now that allows me to open those files anymore, and I didn't have a process back then to archive my photos properly or to convert them DNG properly, so now those photos are kind of lost because I kept raw for everything and didn't do JPEG, so that's that. That's a lesson learned. And after that situation, I always convert my raw files to DNG for future archival purposes, but also as a proper workflow. The other thing that if you notice that with these files is half the size, the DNG converter uses a compression that shrinks the file without losing the quality, as opposed to some other software that do convert, might convert it big or make the file bigger, or loses through compression. Okay, so that's something you need to be careful, and this is why I always use Adobe DNG converter to convert. First thing is for archival purposes. Second thing is the file size tend to be smaller. And the third thing is it compress the file size without losing the quality. So those are the three main reasons why I do that. Okay, so after converting, that is done. I'm going to quit and go back here. So the next few folders would be number 3. I would have my working files, and then number 4 would be my final select, so final images that I'm going to send to the clients, or final images that you want to keep and upload to your projects or to your portfolio. Okay, so that's where the file structure stops. But for me, I'm going to select all this, right click, I'm going to open with Lightroom. And you want to open with Lightroom Classic, okay? Okay, so let's shrink my Lightroom so everyone can see. Okay, so now that we're in Lightroom Classic, I want to again add, I don't want to copy as DNG because I already done so. I don't want to copy as well, then it's just going to duplicate your files. I don't want to move because I want to keep my file where it is. So I'm only going to add. Okay, so I'm going to add to the catalog. And these are kind of personal images, so I'm not going to add those. I'm going to go through one more time. Images that are a bit too personal, I'm not going to add. Let me see. Oh, and then there's tons actually in the bottom that I was playing with light, which I don't, did I? Okay, it all seems fine. So now, again, I'm going to do copyright and edit this preset because it's no longer 2023. Why is that data? Don't save. For some reason, you know what? I'm just going to create a new one. New preset. I'm going to call it 2024. Again, named. I always do this, do not. Do that. Headline. Copyright to me. Copyright status. Don't do that. My website's been hacked. Otherwise, I would have it copyright section on the website and link that to that. Again, have your name all over the place. And again, it's been hacked. Otherwise, I would put my website there. That's something I have to deal with eventually. Date created, I would put 2024 just in case. And then your keywords, I would duplicate here and there. So actually, I just create this blank. I'm gonna do the other side instead. Okay, so right here, I'm gonna do, and some of you, this is too simplistic, right? So travel. So that's all put because I'm gonna go individually. Okay, so normally now that it's done, I would also add it to a collection. So I'm gonna copy, Command A, Or if you go to File or Edit, and then you go Select All. So go up to the navigation bar and go to Edit, and then select All, or short key is Command A to select everything. And then I'm gonna put it in a collection. So I'm gonna go Travel 2024. And create. So you notice it's created there. Okay, so that's kind of where my workflow is. So let's pick one to edit. So let's do an example where I want to edit something. This one. Actually, I'll just edit this one. Yep, so I'm going to use this as an example of editing. So I'm going to go to develop mode. Oh, and it's blurry. What did I say about blurry image? Okay, we delete blurry image. That is so weird. Okay, so immediately delete blurry image. Okay, so let's use this as an example. I like this surrounding the atmosphere, but I really want this part to be white. So first thing is I'm going to quickly edit that. Just go exposure maybe. Okay, slightly. And then making sure the color balance. If there's a white area, I know that's a pure white, I would select that. But if there isn't a white area, a black area would do, right? And if there isn't a black or white, I would find somewhere gray, okay? And if there's none of those three, then you can start playing with the temperature here, or you can try to do auto and see what it adjusts. Okay, so let's do auto. Yeah, so auto's a bit too orange. So I'm going to select the black here. That's very close to black. No, it's not. So let's do the white. Okay, it's a little bit more orange. Okay, I think it's around here. Okay, just say it like this, but I want to further, I don't want to affect this in the background, but I want to make this brighter. So there's a few options, but I find the easiest option is just to right click. Okay, right click, select the image and the thumbnail. So you right click, or in Mac, if you don't have a mouse, you have a trackpad, then what you want to do is select the thumbnail here, control, and touch the image, and then you have these option called edit in. Okay, but usually the right click on mouse would launch that. So you want to edit in Photoshop, and this is very important, right? Because we want to edit in Photoshop. So immediately I'm going to make a copy. So go up to File on your toolbar or your menu bar, go File, and then we are going to save. See, it says edit, right? Okay. So it already made a copy of that in your right below when we exit. Okay, so make sure you see that. That'll help save some virtual memory. Okay, so from here, there's two things I want you to do. Is first fix the curve. Curve looks okay, but I want to make this area here, which is this information here, I want to lift that up. So I want to make it so much brighter. Okay, so like so. I like that, but I don't want to lose that. So what I'm going to do is get the paintbrush here. Go up, paintbrush here. Make sure to block. So again, white is to reveal, black is block. So I want to block the curve. So make sure I click the mask, and then want to double check the hardness is 0. I want to bring the maybe brush size down just a tad. Okay. And then I paint over it. Okay, so that looks much better. That doesn't look too blown out. Okay. So I would do this to all the windows around here. Is there another way to do that's easier or more efficient? There is another way, because this is all highlight, which I'm going to show a little later in another tutorial on how you would pick out the highlighted areas and just change the highlighted areas. Okay, but for this, it's more about practicing your brush skills, and not creating a halo effect or making sure, you know, your brush skills is quite smooth. Okay, and and obviously there is another way to do this as well. Let's do this again. So I'm going to create curves again, and then I want to lift this. So I want to stay here and then lift that up. Does it look okay? Kind of looks better. Okay, so yep, that looks okay without looking HDR actually. Okay, so if I want to fix this a little bit more, because it's perfectly rectangle, I can go to the rectangle marquee. Okay, make sure this is white, and then the mask is selected. I'm gonna go over and just go like this, and then hit delete. You see? This only works if your image is perfectly rectangle, square, or circle. Hit delete. Okay? And it only works if you're white on white or if it's black on black. So reveal. Oops. Again, here again. And then hit delete. I want to do it one more time, but I think you get the point. Let's do the last one here. Okay, so here I would also want it to make it slightly brighter, even more, just on the left side. Okay, so again, take the brush, all right, and then I want to block, so make sure this is black, your mask is selected, and I block that. Okay, so the whole thing is block, or you can go Control I or Command I to invert. I'm going to bring that back down just a tad. There you go. So I just selected that area, and then right here, opacity is 100. I can actually bring the opacity down just a bit. There you go. And there you go. I like that there. Nothing's too overexposed. It feels like a warm sunset image. And the other thing, if it wasn't warm, I can create another solid color. Just do that. Okay. And then I want to blend, maybe overlay. Okay. Bit too intense orange. 5%, so I added a 5% orange just to that. Okay, so that's something you can do, but I don't think I like that. So we're gonna try maybe just the color there. I think that's better. So my blending option is color. My opacity is 5%, which means I'm only adding 5% orange to this layer down here. Okay, so after I'm done this, what I would do is go to your menu bar at the top next to the Photoshop logo, and then I'll hit save. Yes, and everything. Yes, saving it as layer TIFF will increase file size. Okay, and if you notice over here it says Pro Photo, so that's the largest color space you can do. And see, that's already, it was originally only probably 24 megabytes. It's now 100 something with all the layers and everything. So this is why we want the starting point to be small, because it will go up in size. Okay, so document file size, again, if I was done, we will turn it back to Adobe RGB, but for now just keep it as is, because we're going to get into color matching and all that later on. Okay, so now that you're done and you saved, you can just close, and then you see that your edit is back into your folder. Okay, so everything is neat, and over here I would say I'm gonna rate that so all my edited, I'm gonna rate it 5. Oops, not that one. The edit one 5. That one's unedited, I rated 4. In that way, when I am done and I'm ready to export, all the file folders here, and then I'm just gonna search through all the 5s and then export that way. Okay, so for now just do it up to here, but I want edits from going forward, at least in this class or in my own, actually in my own workflow. This is how I keep all my images organized. Okay.